Okay, hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I have something really interesting. Today we're going to be reviewing the Hollyland Mars 400S. So if you're not so sure exactly what this thing is, it is a wireless video transmission system where basically it transmits the video feed from the camera, which is recording me right now, to here, to an external monitor or maybe whatever you might want to project to. It could be a TV, a projector, and things like that. Just before we go on, I just want to do a quick unboxing of this and what you get inside. Essentially, what you get is you get the transmitter and the receiver, you get 5 antennas, you also have the power adapter for this, you have a hot shoe mount, you have a bracket that kind of like fits onto the side of your cage if you need to. That's all you get in the box. I just want to preempt this by saying that I specifically use this in quite unique situations that not many people might use it for, and I hope that if you are looking at this device or if you already have it, I can give you some kind of new and unique applications that you can use wireless transmission systems for. So the first thing I want to talk about is the build quality. Honestly, the build quality, I was completely surprised. It's built with metal, so you really feel the heft in it. It does not come with batteries, but it does use Sony NPF batteries, so which a lot of us have, and you can get like third-party cheap ones. So the model that Hollyland gave me was the 400S, and I'm aware they also have a 400, a Mars 400, but I can't seem to find it on their website. But essentially the difference between the Mars 400 and the 400S is exactly the same. The only thing it has this OLED display which is really nice. It can tell you like which channel you're on, what's the signal feed, as well as which devices are being transmitted to, which is great, which you can tell exactly if you have like multiple different devices connected to this at the same time. The only gripe that I do have about the build quality is that it is quite loud. The fans are quite loud, and I'm not too sure if this is a problem with my unit or in particular, but actually I think you just hear it. This is the transmitter. So you can kind of hear the fans, and if you put it next to a microphone on, let's say if you're using an external microphone, you might be able to pick it up, but so far for the most part I haven't really heard, it hasn't really affected me because I always use either lavs or on my Talon or a boom which is far away, so it's not near the camera, but this could affect you depending, so keep that in mind. It can transmit up to 400 feet, which is 120 meters, and it has a latency of less than 0.1 seconds. I have found that if you do not have a direct line of sight with the antennas, you will have video drop. I think 120 meters as advertised is more on a line of sight. But the one thing that's really important is actually the latency. So latency is basically the lag between what's actually happening and what's being transmitted onto the wherever it is. And if you can see here, if I wave my hand, let me go closer to the what? It's honestly not that bad, but it's up to you to define whether this is something that is going to affect you or not. Another fantastic feature about this wireless transmission is that it can transmit right to an iOS or Android device. Now this to me is the biggest feature. That means that I don't need an external monitor. I can actually use an iPad or my phone to view. This feature alone is a fantastic option if you are a solo photographer or so the batteries just ran out, but this is actually a good time to show you how easy it is to connect. So basically on my transmitter is at channel 4, so all I need to do is at this channel just go to channel 4 and it should pop out any second right here. And that's all you need. That's really, it's honestly a super intuitive system. If you look at in the box, there is no user manual because it's literally just plug and play. Two extra features on this unit are also the channel scan and 3 application scene modes. These are really easy to get to. All you have to do is long press the middle button and you would find that you can go to the channel scan on the RX unit, which is the receiver. So channel scan is for you to check the interference from the current channel if you face a huge lag. So the other one is the application scene mode, which allows you to prioritize video quality in image mode, low latency in speed mode, and a balance between both on balance mode when you still find there's a bit of lag after you pick up a clear channel with the channel scan feature. That means I don't have to carry around the receiver and a monitor. I can just use my phone. And the lag, there is hardly any lag. It's the same latency as on the receiver, maybe a bit better, but that's just my eye only. That means that it gives a lot of options for content creators as well as filmmakers and photographers to really get a much better look at the images that they're producing. So now I want to talk about the applications for a wireless video transmission system. I know that this device is mainly for video, but I'm both a filmmaker and a photographer. So for me, when I choose products, I want products that can work for both applications, at least try to work for both applications. And the one thing that this has changed is tethering. So if you don't know what tethering is, it's basically you connecting your camera to usually a computer, and then when you take a picture, it will straight away go into and save onto your drive, and you can see an image on a bigger screen. So this is really helpful when you're doing client work, when you need to see a bigger screen and things like that. But I do want to note a few things, that this is not technically tethering. You are not saving a file and you can't straight away see the file. You are actually seeing the back of the screen basically on a bigger screen. And so while this is wireless tethering, it is not technically tethering, so please just keep that in mind. I don't want to offend any pro photographers here. So essentially what happened was that I had like the transmitter on top of my 5D. I had a HDMI cable going to the side. Now just a quick tip, if you're looking to use this setup as well, I would suggest looking for a shorter HDMI cable or a right-angled HDMI cable or or an adapter, so that you can kind of like clean up the side. Because the main thing with tethering is that when you're shooting, you have a long cable that's coming out from your camera, and it can get in the way. Sometimes you could snag onto the cable. When you're changing orientations of your camera, the wire could get in the way. And this is the biggest benefit for wireless tethering. It's essentially everything is confined in between to the camera, and you don't have to fumble around with long cables. And that was what I was genuinely interested in looking. I was taking portraits of Ruben, and I could show him straight away on the TV, on the big TV, exactly how his poses were looking like. Instead of showing him back like that, back and forth, all he needed to do was just look and see how he could change and improve. Yes, it's the job of the photographer to direct, but at the same time, models or people kind of like know what they want. It's just that they don't know how to express it. And when you can show it to them on the bigger screen, they can see everything that they need to change, and they can make subtle changes which can help you. It's a two-way communication, directing the model, at the same time letting your model choose the way, letting your model see what they did wrong so that they can consciously make an effort to change. The lag between changing from shooting mode to preview kind of like lagged a little bit. I'm not so sure exactly what was wrong. I don't think it's because of the device, I just think it's because of the camera. I think changing between shooting mode and preview is just slow on the camera, so that's something that you have to keep in mind. But then again, tethering is kind of slow as well, so I want to just show you exactly how the difference between the timing between changing if you're wirelessly tethering from taking a picture to showing from behind versus actually tethering itself. I did notice a couple of drop frames as well as color shifts, and I think this might have to do with the TV that we were using. We were using a relatively old TV, and I found that there were a bit too much drops. And because this unit has this screen that can tell you what's going on and whether it's a transmission loss, I found that it was not a transmission loss, and rather either the HDMI cable or the TV itself, which really helps on set trying to troubleshoot what's going on, instead of like trying to, oh my god, is the HDMI problem, or is it the monitor problem, or is it this, or is there like frequency interruption? all that kind of thing. So all you have to see is that the 3 bars up there, or the how many bars there is up there to see. And if you see that there's a drop in bars, then you know that the video loss, the video feed loss is because of transmission issues rather than like HDMI. It's easier to troubleshoot. So in the end, what we decided to do is we decided to switch to an iPad right next to us, and we decided to just keep shooting from there. I was honestly very shocked at how this can fit into my workflow, considering that this is primarily a video function. So obviously use cases are different for everyone, but I hope this helped you kind of like look at potentially different applications that you can use when you're using a wireless transmission device, is to look at these kind of devices and see how you can use them more for what it was initially intended for. You know, low budget filmmaking and photography is all about making do with what you have. And if you're looking for this for video and you're also a photographer, this is honestly a really solid option for you. So yes, I think this is a really great option. I don't think you will go wrong with it. See, there are not many budget options in the market right now for this. And besides some of the cons that I mentioned just now, hardly anything to complain about it. It works as advertised. It does exactly what you need to do, and pretty sure you'll be happy with it. So basically that comes to the end of the review. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please do let me know in an email, comments, Instagram and things like that. Once again, thank you, and I will see you in the next one.